you've heard of have you of Clayton Kershaw, who is a pretty well-known pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers? Well, because of pressure from Clayton Kershaw, who apparently is a Christian nutcase, the Los Angeles Dodgers were forced to move up the announcement of their Christian Faith and Family Day because Clayton Kershaw was unhappy that the Dodgers chose to highlight the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, which is a very fun group, but it's also an LGBTQ charity, right? So, see, the thing is, the Dodgers have hosted something called Christian Faith and Family Day. Do they hold a Jewish faith and family? A Muslim faith and family? Do they hold a Hindu faith and... Probably not, because those religions would probably say to the LA Dodgers, are you out of your fucking mind? Leave us alone. But the Dodgers have hosted the Christian version of this horseshit in previous seasons. And according to Yahoo Sports, the Dodgers reported were planning to hold the event during, this year's Major League Baseball season. But Clayton Kershaw wanted the team to make the announcement sooner as a response to the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence receiving an award. That's according to Jack Harris, who writes for the LA Times. Oh no! The Christian nut pitcher Clayton Kershaw said, quote, I think we were always going to do Christian Faith Day this year, but I think the timing of our announcement was sped up. Picking a date and doing those different things was part of it as well. Yes, it was in response to the highlighting of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence by the Dodgers. Oh, Jesus Christ. I got to pause and let that sink in. Okay, the decision that the Dodgers made after Clayton Kershaw got his ass up in the air with his Christian bullshit, the decision by the Dodgers came in response to the fact that the Dodgers host the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence at Pride Night on June 16th. That's when it was scheduled. And Kershaw just couldn't stand that. Now, the sisters will receive an award during the festivities in recognition of that group's community service. Community service, I just wonder this honestly, does Doug Kershaw or Clayton Kershaw get involved in, huh? Oh, I'm sure he does something. The Sisters has spent the past 44 years helping, quote, those on the edges of society, end quote. And the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence played a critical role in caring for people who were trying to deal with AIDS, starting in 1979 and throughout the 80s. How about you, Clayton? How many AIDS patients or COVID patients have you worked with, you Christian freak? Now, we have the usual rogues gallery of politicians like Marco Polo Rubio, the senator from Florida. He took issue with the Dodgers honoring the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Ooh. And Marco Polo Rubio and his buddies, his Christian demons in the Senate, denounced the Dodgers for their decision and accused the sisters of making a mockery of Christians. Well, you dumb son of a bitch, Marco Rubio. The sisters don't have to make any effort to make a mockery of swine like you. You have taken a message from the rabbi from Nazareth and turned it into a poisonous, belligerent, hate-filled cult. You have done that, Marco, and your people. I guess what pisses off Marco the most is that the sisters frequently dress in drag and typically they wear nun habits. Oh, burn them at the stake then! Back to Clayton Kershaw, the pitcher for the Dodgers. He viewed the sisters' methods and dress as mocking. No shit, Clayton. And took exception to that, according to the LA Times. This is what Kershaw said. Again, according to Jack Harris at the Times, Kershaw said, quote, "I don't agree with making fun of other people's religions. It has nothing to do with anything other than that. I just don't think that no matter what religion you are, you should make fun of somebody else's religion. So that's something that I definitely don't agree with." End quote. So the Dodgers initially caved in to the pressure started by Mr. Kershaw by rescinding the sisters' invitation to Pride Night. And that decision got local LGBTQ groups kind of pissed off. And they vowed to withdraw from the event, from Pride Night, unless the team reversed course. The team eventually, see how this shit goes? Are you listening? The team eventually did reverse course and re-invited the sisters to take part in Pride Night. And that made old Clayton Kershaw really get his bloomers in a wad. So he went to the Dodgers and said, "Well, if you're going to do that, announce Christian Faith and Family Day first." And Kershaw insisted that his decision, quote, "has nothing to do with the LGBTQ community or pride or anything like that," end quote. Yeah, I know. I sound like a 10-year-old trying to mock a 10-year-old. That's absolutely why I'm sounding the way I'm sounding when I report what little Clayton Kershaw had to say. Now, at least one other player in the entire Major League Baseball organizations has spoken out in support of Mr. Kershaw. Washington Nationals pitcher Trevor Williams said he disagreed with the Dodgers' decision to reinvite the sisters to the park. Mr. Williams released his statement during a series against the Dodgers, and Mr. Williams pitched in Monday's contest in which he gave up 6 runs in 5 innings and then lost the game 6-1. See, maybe God likes the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, Trevor. Anyway, Williams, who's a devout Catholic, of course, said in a statement posted on Twitter, quote, "A Major League Baseball game is a place where people from all walks of life should feel welcomed. Something I greatly respect and support. This is the purpose of different themed nights hosted by the organization, including Pride Night. To invite and honor a group that makes a blatant and deeply offensive mockery of my religion and the religion of over 4 million people in the Los Angeles County alone undermines the value of respect and inclusivity that should be upheld by any organization," end quote. Woo! At least one nun has spoke out in support of the sisters. Joanne de Quattro, who's a Catholic sister of the Holy Names, wrote a letter to the editor of the LA Times in support of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence's mission statement. Sister de Quattro said the Dodgers, quote, "should not give in to pressure from anti-inclusion groups, which serve only to divide rather than unite our country," end quote. So the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence will be in attendance to receive their award at Dodgers Pride Night on June 16th. Mr. Kershaw told the LA Times that no, I won't boycott the event. Oh, well, that is such a relief. It really is, Clayton. America held its breath to see whether or not your eminence would show up on the same night that the sisters receive an award. It's really crazy, isn't it? Huh? even baseball. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.